Retain gang, what's poppin', man? This your boy Tay, back at y'all again. I hope everybody's having a blessed day, man. Before we start this video, make sure you hit that like button and also hit that bell if you haven't subscribed already. That way you don't miss a video. I greatly appreciate you. So this video, this topic was actually a request from my Patreon, man. Shout out to y'all. The effects corn has on your brain on corn. Okay, so I got this reaction video. Shout out to Chris Williamson, man, for this video. I'll leave the original in the link in my description. But without further ado, man, we're gonna tap into this. All right, I'll pause it and comment here and there, but we're gonna tap in.
Not often discussed, which is that, remember, guys in particular, the brain is a learning prediction machine. And if, I'm not trying to say that all pornography is bad, but there are good data to support the idea that if your brain learns to be aroused by watching other people have sex, it is not necessarily going to carry over to the ability to get aroused when you're one-on-one with somebody else, right?
And he's speaking facts. It actually does the opposite. Man, when you get aroused by the digital cheeks all the time, it's actually gonna make it to the point where you can't even get up around a real woman, around your lady. And this is why a lot of men suffer with ED, erectile dysfunction. It's because your mind has been warped to the point where you've been stimulated by the digital cheeks so much that you can't even get aroused with the real thing. And that's bad.
Especially young kids who are consuming a lot of pornography, the brain is learning sexual arousal to other people having sex.
So you're going to program yourself into being a voyeur?
Or just create challenges in sexual interactions with with a real partner. Right?
Mary Harrington has the 3 laws of pornodynamics, and the second law of pornodynamics is the law of FAP entropy. And it says that whatever you start out wanking to will get progressively more intense over time. And I think that this is sort of speaking to that ever sort of escalating amount of the wildness that you need to watch in order to get an ever decreasing stimulus that comes back.
And I agree with that. I tell you guys all the time, it affects the way that you interact with people socially too. So you're gonna have a hard time just being able to talk to women. You're gonna have a hard time talking to people, man. Right? He said, what you watch is gonna progressively get worse because you're gonna search for something that's more intense. Remember, guys, this dopamine hit that you get from watching these flicks is not gonna last forever. So you're going to be in search for something that's going to be on par with that first hit. It's just like any drug. The first time you try it is always going to be more intense. And then people spend their whole life chasing that first high. So and essentially you're doing the same thing with the corn. You're trying to chase that first high, right? And it's going to take you down a dark path where you need to search for more intense, more disturbing type of content just to get you aroused. All right, and this is where we get messed up at.
And here I'm approaching this only through the lens of biology, right? I'm not a psychologist, and I'm certainly not political in any way. At least not. I have ideas about politics, but I just don't discuss them publicly. But the idea here is that I'm not saying pornography as a stimulus is bad or good. What I'm saying is in its availability and its extreme forms, it's a very potent stimulus, and very potent stimuli of any kind, extremely palatable food, extreme pornography, extreme experiences like bungee cord jumping, those set a threshold for dopamine release. And Anna will tell you that, and I'm sure she did, that the higher the dopamine peak, the bigger the drop afterwards. And it's not that you drop to baseline, you drop below baseline. So again, it's not, these things aren't good or bad, they just have to be controlled in a way, because when people are pursuing dopamine peaks over and over and over, and they aren't getting them, typically it's because they've been pursuing that activity far too often.
And I agree with that. It's like drinking coffee, guys, caffeine, or any type of caffeinated beverage. When you get so used to drinking that, right, it gives you energy. It's gonna boost your productivity, but then you're gonna crash. You're gonna drop, and your energy gonna drop lower than it was before you had the caffeinated drink, the coffee or whatever. So it's the same essential thing, man. When you watching these flicks, understand you have all this access to these different scenes, to all these different women. That's a crazy dopamine rush. A crazy dopamine release that you're gonna get from that. It's no different than someone who likes to eat sweets. And you have unlimited cakes. You have unlimited options to how many cakes and pies you can eat. Right? They don't cost a thing, it's free. Just imagine. Right? Imagine somebody trying to get in shape, trying to, clean up their diet, trying to eat healthy, but then they have this unlimited supply of cakes and pies. They're gonna have a very hard time. So with the corn, man, you got all this access to these different flicks, and it's free. So what does that do to not only you, but what does it do to the younger generation? You know what I'm saying? It makes it to the point where they can get all their dopamine release just from watching these flicks. They don't gotta talk to a real woman. And this is going to affect society. It's going to affect social interactions between men and women. All right, guys? I don't make these videos to try to tell you guys what to do with your life. You do what you want to do, man. The energy that you put out is what you're going to get back. I just want to bring awareness to you guys so you can know what you're doing and how it affects you. All right? I'm not telling you to watch the corn or nothing. I'm not telling you what to do, but just know how it affects you. Right? You gotta be in control of your energy. You gotta be in control of what you do in your life. And you have to know how different components inside of you are being affected by your decisions and what you indulge in. When you indulge in this stuff, bro, it is doing something to your mind. Understand that everything we do has a consequence. Everything that you partake in is molding and shaping you. Right? You're like clay. So you have to be aware of that, guys. All right?
And you're saying perhaps take a break from that, and there may be an ability for yourself, your system to reset.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, all the things that we're talking about with pornography could be superimposed onto food or could be superimposed onto real sex, right? That one also has to be cautious there, right? But the cycling back and forth between dopamine and low dopamine states, dopamine fasting as it were, but maybe just low dopamine states, these are natural rhythms that exist in the nervous system. We have to remember what the dopaminergic system is there for. I'll say it again, I wasn't consulted at the design phase, but we know as a generic form of motivation and pursuit. You can imagine the human or the animal that's hungry or thirsty. It needs energy to go pursue the thing. So the idea that you have to eat in order to get energy, that's true. You need energy in order to get the thing to eat. So our nervous system has energy also, that's dopamine and epinephrine. Yes, we use glucose and glycogen, etc. when we're pursuing things, but the idea here is you're pursuing something and then either by smell or by sight, you think you're on the right track. So you go down that track and there it is. You get some berries or you get, let's get prehistoric about this, you get to kill the prey and eat it, and then it gives you energy to continue this pursuit or to reproduce. I mean, there's a reason why humans and other animals seek out reproduction is that every species, but certainly humans, have two innate desires built into them, whether or not they decide to actualize this or not, is the desire to protect young and make more of its own species. Every successful species does that. Even if people don't have children, in general, people care about children because of what they represent. Very few people dislike children. I mean, there are a few mutants out there that dislike children, but you always worry about those kinds of people.
And I like how he ended off on that. Basically, what he was saying is when you have instant gratification, when you have things that can bring you instant gratification, let me clarify. You don't have an incentive to go out and get things done. Right? He was talking about the energy. You need energy to to get things, but you also get energy back from pursuing certain things, right? So in the case of the corn, the pleasure that you get from watching that corn, that is the incentive for reproducing. Okay, that's why you feel pleasure, because it's going to give you motivation to want to reproduce. If it feels good, you're going to want to do it again, right? Be fruitful and multiply. That's why we get pleasure from it. But also, you know, if you want to get spiritual with it, it takes you to a higher plane, a deeper connection with your partner. You know what I'm saying? But that's another video. But what he's saying is, when you watch the corn, you're not getting anything from that. So you're tricking your mind into thinking that, hey, I'm reproducing, I'm getting this pleasure, let's do this again. But you haven't reproduced. You're not even giving your energy to a real person. So in other words, you're at a dead end, right? You know, you walk through an alley. You ever seen them shows when they running from the police, or they running from somebody and they run into an alley and there's nowhere to go, the doors is locked, they're trapped? That's what you're doing. You watching the corn, you're running into an alley because you're not being purposeful with your energy. Okay, everything we do should be initiated with purpose. And that's what my mans was saying. You going to get food. Everything has a purpose. You want to eat. You get an urge inside of you that tells you that, hey, I'm hungry. Let's get some food. You use your energy to pursue that food. And then when you get that food, you get a dopamine release. Same thing with women. When you want to be in a relationship, you get the energy to pursue a woman. And in exchange, you get a dopamine hit from accomplishing that goal. And then if you want to procreate, you know, you're getting something back from it. But with the corn, you're not getting anything back. It's just taking your energy away, and you're just wasting your energy. All right, guys. So you got to understand what this does to your mind. You become a zombie. Okay, you're confused. You don't know where to go. You don't know what you're doing. Right? And you have to understand this. The things that you do and the things that you digest, man, is shaping your mind. All right? And guys wonder why they have trouble with women. You wonder why relationships today are in the state they are in now. Men and women going to war with each other. It's the little things. You got to go back to the molecular level, to the foundation, and understand, why is the world the way it is today? It's too much instant gratification. Okay, and it's warping our minds. Not just men, but women too. All these things are warping our minds, man, and making us become these robots, making us become not even human. Okay? People treating each other like objects. People only caring about themselves and not having empathy for others. All this, bro, is in direct correlation with each other. So I'm making this video, man, just to give you guys awareness and understand that you can do what you want to do, but understand you got to deal with the consequences. The energy that you put out is what you definitely gonna get back. All right. With that being said, if you guys want to donate to the channel, man, I'll leave all my links in the description and in my pinned comments. Also, if you need a consultation and you want to talk to your boy Tay, I'll leave a link for that as well. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I'm out. Peace.